the time has finally come. If you are watching this and you didn't already know, you have a dragon spirit guide around you, maybe many dragon spirit guides around you, and their color has meaning. It has power to it. It has frequency to it. And they would like you to know now what exactly that means, what sorts of gifts, powers they have, how they can help you. Now, there's a caveat with this, maybe, because also it's not to be taken too seriously. It's not to put your dragon in a box, because as I always say, every dragon is different, okay? So let's not have any dragon racism here and judge our dragons by the color of their scales. Instead, I invite you to tune into your heart space throughout this video, call in your dragon guide or guides, and notice how it feels when I talk about specific colors and specific qualities that those colors have. Notice if it kind of resonates, if it expands, or if it contracts. If it's expansive, that could be resonance happening. That could be a yes from your dragon guide. If it contracts, that could be a no. That could be a very clear sign that that's not in resonance with your guide. So that said, friends, first off, before we dive into all that juicy stuff, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Hannah, and I empower you to empower yourself. And today I'm going to be doing that by going into these different colors that dragons can be and what exactly that means, so that you can hopefully deepen that bond between you and your dragon guide, and also potentially even learn a little bit more about yourself and your own dragon energies if you in fact have a dragon form yourself. So this video has been a long time coming. This is my #1 most requested question. The most received question that I get, the most requested video that I get is, oh, my dragon is this color. What does that mean, Hannah? What does the dragon color mean? What do dragon colors mean? And I have set the intention for a while to make a video, but it just hasn't happened. And now, boom, all of a sudden it feels like it's time to talk about this. So I look forward to sharing with you. And like I said at the beginning, check in with yourself, check in with your own intuition, check in with your own dragon guide or guides, and see what resonates and what doesn't, because this is not a hard and fast rule. These are just guidelines. So first and foremost, before we get into the colors themselves, I'm just going to preface by saying one of the reasons why I was so resistant to make this video is because I didn't want people to put these dragons in boxes. Because dragons, if you were not aware, they are very fluid. They are shapeshifters. They can move easily between dimensions. And as such, they wear their colors like we wear clothes, okay? So if a dragon shows up to you as a specific color, that is not set in stone. They are not physical beings like we are. If they are a certain color, just like our hair color, you know, rarely a person's hair color changes, right? It's like if they have a specific hair color, they're kind of stuck with that hair color their whole life. For a dragon, that's not the case. For a dragon, their color can change instantly in any moment. Maybe that very same dragon could appear to you in many different colors depending on how they feel. But that said, I realize that it actually does have significance what the dragon's color is, because it could show you what energies are in focus for them at that time, or what energies are in focus for you, what you are being called to kind of focus on, to learn, to integrate. Let's say that you really are being called to step into your own passion, your fire energy, let's say. Your dragon, even if they typically wear the skin, the colors, the clothes, shall we say, of, let's say, a pink dragon normally, they might appear to you in your mind's eye as a red dragon, because you are being called to step into your own red dragon energy. And red is associated with like that passion and that fire energy. Okay, so your dragon's color can say a lot about where they are at currently and also where you are at currently. Just be aware, again, that they can change. This can be very, very fluid. And also on that note, something that surprises people too is because dragons are shapeshifters, your dragon might not even always appear to you as a dragon. They might appear to you in many, many different forms. But that, friends, is a topic for another video. So preface number 2, if you are familiar with, let's say, like aura colors or the chakras and their associations and their colors, stuff like that, color theory, know that there is some universalism to this. And you can likely apply these things that you just intuitively feel or you already know about these colors to that specific dragon that you see in that color. And as such, I'm going to actually talk first about the dragons in the order of the chakras and chakra colors. So let's start with red. Red dragons. This one is close to my heart because my very first dragon guide was and is a red dragon. So if a dragon is appearing to you as red, it could indicate that 1, they have an affinity for the fire element. Not necessarily. Again, every dragon is different. I'll probably be saying that, reminding you of that a lot throughout this video. But there's a good chance there's some association with fire there. Fire elemental dragons tend to resonate a lot with that red coloring. This is also a sign that that dragon, their energy is very intense. They could be attracted to danger, to dangerous situations. They could have a lot of courage. You could have a lot of courage. You could be in a lot of dangerous situations if you have a red dragon guide with you. They are also associated with passion. So you could have really intense, strong feelings about things. If you have like a passionate love affair, or it's not even necessarily with a person, but let's say you have a creative idea that you're very, very passionate about, you may attract a red dragon that will help you, that will take that passion with you and run with you. All in all, I would say red dragon energy, it's a very powerful energy. It's the energy of a rebel, really. It's like the rebel dragon. It's the spicy dragon. And if you have a red dragon around you, likely you have these qualities within yourself. And so in regards to the chakras, right, red is associated with the root chakra. So red dragons can also be associated with the root chakra work. So if you need to work on your root chakra, which is issues around survival, okay, being in survival mode. If you're often in survival mode, you may want to work with a red dragon, or maybe just naturally you'll have a red dragon around you to help you with those survival issues, to help you step into more courage, shall we say, and break free from those survival mode patterns and step more into your power. Red in and of itself, very powerful energy, very powerful dragon. Shifting gears to orange dragons. And ironically, I'm wearing orange today. Also, below my camera, my cat, Ryuji, is sleeping. Ryuji is a dragon soul, and I recently learned that his dominant colors, just like his fur, he's an orange and white cat. So he has actually orange and white dragon energy as well. I just thought that was a fun little parallel, and he's here. So if I say something wrong about orange dragons, I'm sure he'll let me know. So orange dragons, they are more than anything, from what I understand, they're associated with creativity. These are creativity dragons. I feel that very powerfully as I say it. This is fascinating to me because honestly, out of all the different colors of dragons, these are the ones I knew least about up until now. And then in connecting with Ryuji's dragon soul, I learned a lot more. And a fun little anecdote here about them being associated with creativity. Every time I have been living with my cat Ryuji, I have had such passion for some sort of creative project. And the weirdest thing happened. It's like when I moved away from him, I was living in Australia for a few years, and then I was in Germany a couple years before I was able to bring him back. My creativity for these like writing projects that I had been working on completely went kaput. Now I have Ryuji back with me here in Germany. He just moved back in with me. And immediately my creativity has also been sparked again. It's absolutely fascinating. So these orange dragons, there's a link between creativity. If you are someone who is a creative, and let's say you're a writer like myself and you struggle with writer's block, call in that orange dragon energy to ignite that creative energy. So orange dragons, they are also associated with the element of fire. So fire dragons can manifest as red. Also, they like to manifest as orange dragons. But I would say while the red fire dragons are like the more dangerous, rebel, spicier dragons, the orange fire dragons are more like just the happy-go-lucky, like playful. There's more of a level of innocence to the orange dragons. They have a much sweeter, softer energy. It's still kind of a fiery energy, but it's much more tempered. It's much softer than that of the red dragons. And so if you find red dragon energy intense and you still want to work with a fire dragon, maybe ask if an orange fire dragon could come in, and you might find that a little bit more palatable. Also, orange is the color of the sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra, also associated with creativity, also sexuality. So orange dragons, this is something very specific, very important that they want me to share right now, because I think a lot of people are doing this at the moment. They can help you with healing sexual traumas, and know that sexuality, creativity, same energy. So oftentimes, like you can ignite your sexuality by being really creative. You can ignite your creative energies by being really sexual, or sometimes it's the other way around. It's almost like if you're really sexual, you won't be really creative because all of your creative energy is going there. If you're really creative, you're not going to be sexual because all of your energy is going there. And another fun link, another fun revelation I had, if you watched my video, and I'll link it up here, about how I am demisexual. For the longest time, I thought I was actually just straight up asexual. And I realize now, I thought that was my experience because all of my sexual energy, all of my creative energy, it was going towards creative projects. There was none left over really for me to explore like sexuality. And so I felt and I perceived myself to be very asexual. But then when I became aware of that, I was able to balance it out more. So all that is to say, if you would like help healing, creative blocks, healing sexual traumas, sexual blockages, call on an orange dragon, see what happens. They would love to play with you. Next up, we have yellow dragons. And also, just like red and orange, yellow dragons can also be fire, but it's kind of like a level of spiciness, okay? So like the red dragons are the most intense, so the fire dragons. The orange ones, they're kind of medium spice, and then the yellow ones, they're just fluff. They're just fluff. If you look at like a candle flame, they're like that like kind of white part, that white tip at the top, and it just looks like soft and inviting. It's like, yeah, that soft little tip of a candle flame, that's like yellow fire dragon energy. I also get the sense that there's a lot of yellow dragons that manifest as air dragons as well. So there's, yellow fire dragons and yellow air dragons. They share, regardless of what elemental affinity they hold, the yellow dragons, they tend to have this playfulness. even more playful than the orange dragons. And I would say it's more of a, like, again, vanilla playfulness. Like the orange dragon playfulness can be quite spicy and mischievous, and my cat Ryuji is certainly like he certainly embodies this. But like the yellow dragon playfulness, it's just like a innocent little child. There's no like pranks or anything like that. It's just pure joy, and that is the frequency of yellow. So regardless of if there's an elemental affinity there or not, yellow dragon usually is holding this frequency, this energy of joy, of exuberance, of life force energy. And they tend to be very high vibrational, very gentle, very just happy-go-lucky all around. So if you find that you are, let's say you're depressed, let's say you're struggling with some grief, call on a yellow dragon to help soothe that, to bring you into a higher vibrational state again. And they are going to do it in a way that's not like really intense, where they're like, you must be happy now. No, they're going to help you slowly, gradually climb from the point where you're at, this low vibrational frequency, slowly, gradually up to this high vibrational frequency where they tend to live. Also note that yellow dragons, not to be confused with golden dragons. It's a totally different energy. The yellow dragon energy, it's just going to feel much softer than the golden dragon energy. And the golden dragons, we'll talk about them later, but the golden dragon energy will have more of like a regal, that's kind of the energy that comes through, like a regal sort of energy. And the yellow dragon energy, they really don't care about being regal or anything like that. So it's more of a just like every person dragon. And then yellow is associated with the solar plexus chakra. So yellow dragons, they can also help you with your solar plexus chakra. They can help you find your voice, your confidence. They're really good, apparently, at helping with self-love, finding your own worth, and being able to like take action from that place. They can imbue you with inspired action and help you actually like move the needle forward. When you get hits, inspirations on things, they can actually help you bring that into material reality. Moving on to green dragons. These have also been a dragon color that has been near and dear to my heart. And it's like, I feel like in a way, it's the color of dragon that is most common for the collective. You can even see it like in the emojis, right? The two dragon emojis that exist, they're both green dragons. Green dragons, from what I'm understanding, they tend to be actually the most common type of dragons. They're almost like NPC dragon, but it's not like every green dragon is an NPC. It's a very common frequency because it's very balanced. So I sense that green dragons, they hold this energy of like balance and also of healing. So oftentimes green dragons, they're going to show up for healers, empaths, even people that aren't like spiritual, like doctors and stuff. There may be green dragons around them. And they also have an association with nature. And as such, you will often find that earth dragons manifest as these green dragons. It's a very, very common color for earth dragons to take. So there's an association with the earth, with Mother Nature, with animals and animal communication, with plants, with trees. If you feel you've had a strong connection with nature, with animals, it's very likely that you have a green dragon or dragons around you. Or if you would like to develop that connection with Mother Earth, with animals, with plants, with trees, call on the green dragons. They will help you bridge that easily and effortlessly. So I also get the sense, just like they can be like these NPC dragons where there's many of them, they also can have a very royal sort of energy to them. And green dragon energy, it can be very mature. That's the word. That's the word they want me to use. Maturity. These are like maturity dragons as well. They tend to be disciplined, but not in a stifling way. And another association for them is the heart and love, and again, healing. So green is the color of the heart chakra, right? So green dragons also associated with the heart chakra. They're telling me right now, this is also why there's so many of them, because the heart chakra is so important, right? We need our hearts to live. Our hearts, not only in the physical realm, is it the heart that's pumping blood and keeping us alive, but also on the higher dimensions, literally our heart is a portal to source. It is like, that is why the heart physically is what keeps us alive, because our heart is our portal to source. So we need many of these green dragons around to stabilize that energy. Just like there are trees to keep us alive physically, green dragons on the energetic plane, they hold a similar sort of frequency. So know that if you have any blockages with your heart chakra and you need to heal, I specifically get the example of like, hey, you just went through some heartbreak. Call on the green dragons, allow them to clean that up for you, to give you some nurturing, some support, and ground you back into Mother Earth. Moving on to blue dragons, which I also don't have or didn't have too much experience with. And I think it's funny because like my background is blue. Got this pillow here that's also blue. So there's some blue dragon energy around. I'm actually looking at the TV too, where I have like a recording of the ocean playing. So blue dragons, blue of course is one of the most common colors that water dragons will choose. So if you have a blue dragon, it's very likely there's an association with water. But again, remember Edid, these are not hard and fast rules. There just tends to be associations there. So there's this association oftentimes with water, but also it's very important, communication, truth, speaking truth, because the blue dragons also, chakras, blue chakra is the throat chakra. And so if you are a speaker or you would like to get into public speaking, or let's say even just posting YouTube videos like myself, call on the blue dragons, allow them to purge any blockages in your throat chakra and allow them to help you speak clearly and to speak the truth at that, because that's so important to them, is truth. I also get the sense that there's also a lot of blue dragons that are air dragons. That's another affinity that they can have, so something to be aware of. But just in general, dragons that choose to present as the color blue, they have a very calming sort of energy, right? It's just very calming. If I am correct in this, I believe like the most popular favorite color that there is, like the most universal favorite color among people, is the color blue. It's just not a very triggering color. That's why. And so blue dragon energy is the same, and it's very intentional. It's like not triggering if you just want to have like a chill buddy there, a sounding board. You just want that support. Someone holds space. Yeah, I feel that. They're like space holding dragons. Call on a blue dragon. They would love to assist you. Next, purple dragons. Purple dragons, I have a lot to say about purple dragons, but actually I've intended for a while to make a video only on purple dragons because they tend to be really special. I don't even know the extent right now to how special they are. It's always been a feeling that I've had, and I have strong connections to purple dragons. My dragon mom, for example, is a purple dragon. So what they will say for this video is purple dragons, they're associated with the energy of alchemy. So if you're aware of the violet flame, it's like this gift that Saint Germain gave to humanity. You can call on the violet flame to transmute any dense energies. Purple dragons hold a similar frequency to that violet flame. They're basically like violet flame dragons, but they said that they came first, not the violet flame. Violet flame came after. In a way, this is interesting. Okay, they said that they actually helped to create this violet flame, right? Because they are purple dragons. Dragons breathe fire. So they helped to create this, like many purple dragons worked to create this violet flame. Very, very cool. Purple dragons also, they will present themselves to people who are or who are meant to be spiritual leaders, guides, and teachers, okay? So they have so much advanced spiritual wisdom within them that they will help the people that they connect with to convey to the masses, just like as they're doing now with me. And yeah, so they pick their channels very intentionally. Not everyone can be a channel for a purple dragon, they say. They choose it very, very intentionally. Know that it is a great honor if you have a purple dragon working with you, particularly if they're working with you and you're channeling them in this way. It is a great honor. So purple is the color of psychic abilities. Purple is also a royal color, but let's focus on the psychic ability thing. So oftentimes, if you're just starting to have a spiritual awakening, or you've set the intention, hey, I want to develop my psychic abilities, I want to take this further, you will have a purple dragon come to you. They can help you, they can nurture that as you grow your psychic abilities. So purple dragons also, this is a big one. So, you know, the rainbow, there's like indigo, there's violet. In the chakras, there's like indigo, there's violet. Purple dragons, as far as I'm understanding, they encompass both frequencies of indigo and violet. That's why it's just like purple. It's not indigo, it's not violet, it's just purple because they encompass both. That's why they're so powerful. So they're associated with both the third eye and the crown chakra. How cool is that? So if you have blockages in your third eye or your crown chakra or both, call on purple dragon. They'll help you to clear that out. Just be careful. Just be careful, because if you're like too focused on the third eye and the crown chakra and you're trying to clear that stuff out, if your body is not ready for it, if you haven't worked on the lower chakras, this is what can induce kind of like psychosis in people when they just become so ungrounded. So the purple dragons are like, hey, you can be responsible when working with us. They encourage you to work with these other colored dragons first. Make sure you're grounded in the other chakras before calling them in. Just a little word of warning. So purple, from an elemental sense, I'm getting the sense that purple dragons, when they have like elemental affinities, they tend to be like associated with ether, chaos, and storm, which are the three highest dragon elementals, actually. So they tend to be very high vibrational dragons associated with ether, chaos, and storm. If you're curious in learning about those dragon elementals, I've done some videos on it. You can check my dragon elementals playlist right here on YouTube. They also tell me that like purple dragons, more than a lot of the other colored dragons, tend to just not have any elemental affinity at all. They tend to be more like galactic dragons from other worlds, planets, universes even. And yeah, they tend to have a sort of foreign energy to them. Meanwhile, elemental dragons, if you have an elemental dragon, which most people do, that's going to be more associated with earth. Elemental dragons are directly associated with earth and earth energies. But know that oftentimes it's like those elemental energies are foundational to working with galactic energies. Moving on to white dragons. White dragons, very magical, very ethereal. White dragons tend to be associated with the element of light. They tend to be light dragons. Also, they can have a lot of affinity with air as well. Sometimes with ether. White dragons just have a very peaceful, almost angelic frequency. And they can be similar to angels in nature. So if you're someone that's new to dragon energy, but you have more comfort working with the angels, you might want to start working with a white dragon. Their energy is just very, very soft, very, very angelic, very, very pure. If you've been through a lot of trauma, they can help you to heal that at a multidimensional level. These white dragons tend to be multidimensional. They tend to exist beyond the confines of this matrix or any matrix. They exist beyond any matrix is what they tell me. They tend to also be associated with what are known as celestial dragons, which I haven't actually talked about on my channel yet, so perhaps I'll do a video on them soon as well. And white dragons, they're also associated with a chakra that many people don't even know exists. It's called the soul star chakra. It's actually your 8th chakra. It's above the crown chakra. It's like right up here, and it's associated with, again, multidimensionality, the Akashic records, your parallel past, future lives, your galactic lineage, very high frequency energies. So if you want to activate that, let's say you want to access your Akashic records, call on a white dragon. They will take you directly to your Akashic records, actually. They can help you, they can guide you through that process, and they can keep you protected as you go through that process. Their frequency is just so high in general that it is associated with peace. So if you want world peace, if you are someone that is an empath and you're deeply disturbed by the tragedies that you're witnessing in the world, call on a white dragon, or many, for yourself, for those you see that are in need, that are suffering, and they will bring in this energy of healing, of purity, of clarity. They can help to bring these high vibrational frequencies down into the earth grid. They are very, very magical, mysterious dragons. Black dragons. Black dragons I've also had a special connection with. So black dragons are like the counterparts to the white dragons. So black dragons, from what I understand, most dominantly, they tend to have an affinity with the element of darkness, which is the counterpart to light. And oftentimes you will find white and black dragons working together in tandem as these partners, just like we see in pop culture, right? With Toothless, the Night Fury, and How to Train Your Dragon. And then eventually he gets that partner, which is that female Light Fury, that's this white dragon counterpart. These energies, they are meant to balance each other out. So if you have like a white and a black dragon, there's an element of yin yang, of balance there. That's a great sign. Black dragons also, they can be associated with storm a lot. That's what I'm hearing, with storm a lot as well. But again, really they're like, they can be any elemental affinity, just as any dragon. But I think oftentimes darkness dragons, maybe more so than other colors, like they can manifest in different elemental affinities easily, because essentially what they're saying, the most important part of their frequency is like this protection. This is why, for example, fun little fact, I live in Berlin, by the way. I live in Berlin, and it's like this running gag that like everyone just wears black all the time. And you see this not just in Berlin, but in many big cities. Like I know in New York, I noticed something similar when I was there. And that is because just intuitively, black is a very protective energy. And when you wear black, you're kind of protecting your energy. And so know that that is the frequency of these black dragons. It is that of a protector. And so if you find that you struggle with spiritual psychic attack, you struggle with boundaries, call on a black dragon to help you set those boundaries to protect your energy, and they will do so. And of course, black dragons, just like any sort of like black animal, like black cats get this signal a lot too, right? But black cats hold the similar frequency. It's like they can often be demonized, and people can be afraid of them, like, oh no, I saw a black dragon, oh gosh, that's scary, it's demonic. Not necessarily anything to be afraid of. They are just also associated with shadows. So it's that which you don't want to see. But just because you don't want to see it doesn't even mean that it's bad. Oftentimes our shadows can be a very positive thing. So if you want to do shadow work of any kind, call on the black dragons. Also, they tend to have an affinity for nighttime. And so if you want to like access more psychic abilities, have more psychic experiences at night, you can call upon them. If you want to like increase your healing as you're sleeping, if you have trouble sleeping, you want help sleeping, call on the black dragons. They got your back. And I didn't know this until just now. This is what they're telling me. So their counterparts, right? The white dragons, they're associated with the soul star chakra, which is this extra chakra that most people don't know about, that's above the crown chakra. Well, we also have another special chakra below. It's called the Earth Star chakra. And black dragons say that they tend to have an affinity with that chakra. So it's balanced, right? North and South pole, they got to balance each other. So the white dragon's up here, black dragon's down here, anchoring it in. So if you want to work with that Earth Star chakra, call on the black dragons. All right, we got 3 more that I'm going to talk about today, which isn't even like all the colors that there are, of course, but 3 more that I'm feeling called to talk about. Next up is pink dragons. Pink dragons don't get talked about too much. I absolutely love them. These are, as you might expect, some of the most loving dragons that there are. They literally hold frequency of unconditional love. Oftentimes, these dragons manifest as quite literally love dragons. So love dragons are a type of value dragon, which I talk about in this video here if you want to learn more about what that entails. But yeah, if you just want more love in your life, if you're trying to manifest a partner, if you're trying to heal a relationship with a family member, a friend, if you just want to love yourself more and tap into self-love, call in some pink dragons to help you with that, and they will just immediately wrap you in this bubble, this cocoon of loving, healing pink energy. Ironically, a lot of pink dragons can actually be associated also with the fire elements. However, there's a distinction. So it's noticing the type of pink. If it's like a softer pink, it's likely there is no elemental affinity, or they could be something like an air dragon, or they could be something like a water dragon, a light dragon, even a spirit dragon, an ether dragon. But if it's hot pink, hot pink specifically, like this electric pink, there's an association with fire there. So a lot of fire dragons also like to manifest as these like electric pink dragons. And fun fact about them, these are like the sexy sex dragons. So if you, like fire dragons, they can also have a lot of association with sexual energy. And so if you want to work with that specifically and you're doing, let's say, like sex magic or something, hot pink dragon. No, I will say nothing more. I will let you play with that if that's something you feel called to play with. But yeah, so there's the hot pink dragons, the spicy ones, and then you just have the rest of the pinks, which are more just like, oh, love and light, kind of what you would expect. Also, like white dragons, they have a similar frequency. It's very soft, very gentle, very angelic. And it's really, truly like supercharged healing energy. But again, it's not going to be in a way that feels overwhelming for the system. It's in a way that's going to just very subtly lift your vibration and stitch up any wounds that you have. Gold dragons. Next, golden dragons. So I've done videos on this. I don't need to spend too much time on them. I would say these are the focus of my work and my channel. I identify as a golden dragon soul. I have the most experience maybe with these. And as a result, I tend to attract clients that are also of this frequency. So ironically, you can see it in fiction, just like Dungeons and Dragons, like golden dragons. They're always like the rarest or special or something. And it's because golden dragons, they hold a very, very high frequency. It's a frequency of mastery. It's the frequency of an ascended master. And you'll actually find there's more golden dragons around Earth than ever before, because essentially all of us here right now, we are ascended masters. Whether you realize it or not, this is what ascension is all of us en masse ascending and stepping into our ascended master power. So if you want help on your ascension journey, specifically call in some of that golden dragon energy. Yeah, they say they can also help with literally any chakra, but they also like that soul star chakra that the white ones work with, but they say that they work at an even higher level. So there's even more chakras up there that you can't see. They'll work with those. They're just, again, at a very, very high frequency. They're the frequency of alchemy. They have the ability, right? This is not just an analogy. They turn lead to gold. Like literally they are gold, right? Their frequency is gold. They can turn heavy, low vibrational frequencies into light, positivity, stuff that feels good, high vibrational. So if you're struggling to transmute a lot of density in your life, call on the golden dragons. Whew, I don't even know if you can like notice, but I started talking faster. I can't even sit still because the energy is so high vibe. It's hard to even just ground it sometimes. And I feel like all this heat coming in, like they got really strong energy. Golden dragons, from what I understand, they're not exactly associated with any of the elemental dragons. But that said, on the same token, they are. Because basically, in order to become a golden dragon, they had to master all of these other elements. So they have actually mastered all of the elements, but they've basically evolved to a point where they don't have much interest in working specifically with elements anymore. They can, you would maybe do best to work with other dragons if you like specifically want to work with elemental energies. But yeah, they've learned that lesson. It's like in the past for them. It's in their repertoire. It's just not like their choice of what they want to work with typically. So also, I mean, this comes in hand with them being the dragons of the Ascended Masters. These are essentially Christ consciousness dragons. Oh, say hi, Ryu. Say hi, baby. Yeah, who's such a good boy? Who's a baby? My little white and orange dragon. Yeah, such a good boy. Here you go, baby. Well, there you have it. There is Ryuji made his appearance finally. He's like a little celebrity. So he graced us with his presence, and he's like, hey, I have some golden dragon energy myself, Hannah. You didn't realize that? That's why he had to come out during that. But anyways, golden dragon energy is basically, these are the dragons of Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness, as I've said before, it's not associated with religion. It doesn't mean Jesus Christ necessarily. Jesus did have this energy, but so did every other ascended master ever. Christ consciousness is the energy of a master. It's someone that's mastered all of the elements. Essentially, if you're a nerd like me, it's the avatar state, okay? Christ consciousness is the avatar state, if that helps you to understand it. And golden dragons are the dragons of that energy. Golden dragons can also just be associated with life force energy and with the sun. And so if you find that you need energy, you feel like you're just lacking energy, call on the golden dragons. Yeah. That's right. So our last dragon that we'll talk about, silver dragons, okay? Silver dragons have a very complementary energy to the golden dragons, from what I understand. But it's like their energy is the same, but the golden dragon is more of like the masculine counterpart, and the silver dragon is more like the feminine counterpart. But that doesn't mean like if you're a divine masculine, you're always a golden dragon, and if you're a divine feminine, you're always a silver dragon. No, like what I'm seeing is it's like we're talking about masculine, feminine, is in that feminine, I would say, is like spiritual energy. Masculine energy is physical energy. And so golden dragon energy, it manifests like physically, tangibly, and that silver dragon energy, that feminine energy, that spiritual energy, it stays up here. So oftentimes the silver dragons hold such a high frequency, and unlike other dragons which like to shapeshift and move around, they don't lower their frequency as much. They stay up in the spiritual realms, and they might help their golden dragon counterparts, okay? So they like hold that spiritual frequency. If their golden dragon counterpart, let's say, wants to go spelunking. So just like the Ascended Masters, right? Like they're always up here in the ether. We can call on them at any time, unlimited, to help us with our ascension process. But sometimes the Ascended Masters, they incarnate as an individual, as a person, physically, just like all of us here, right, are doing right now. We have physically incarnated. And so essentially these silver dragons, they can help balance you out. If you're finding that it's just too intense being in the physicality, they can help balance you out. And I find their energy is just very etheric, very healing. If you have, like, you yourself have like a silver dragon soul and you're incarnated on earth, You may find it's very tough to be here. You might find you've always struggled with like oversensitivity, like you are not just an empath, but like a super empath, and you just profoundly feel everything. And you may struggle, let's say, with taking action and stuff because it's just a very foreign energy. And so if you're feeling like misunderstood, ooh, this is like the silver dragons are like, hey, we're like the patron saints of being misunderstood. If you're struggling with feeling misunderstood, with feeling isolated, call on the silver dragons. They got your back. And that is all I'm going to talk about today. Wow, that was a lot. I hope that was informative to you, that made sense, that resonated. So now that you've sat in with yourself, you sat in with your guide or guides, I'm throwing the question to you, my friend. What color is your guide or your main guide? If you have many, like whatever one's coming through right now, what color is your guide? Let us know in the comments. And then also let us know what your guide wants us, the collective, to know about their color and that meaning, that symbolism. If you are curious about elemental dragons and you're like, oh yeah, my guide is an elemental dragon, or is my guide an elemental dragon? A great place to start with that is my entirely free quiz that I'm very excited about, very happy with this quiz. It's called What Elemental Dragon Guide is Calling You? I will leave a link in the description for you to take, and that will help you identify which elemental dragon guide is coming through most strongly right now to be connected with. And then you'll receive an email sequence that's basically like a mini course that will help you start to develop the connection with that guide and learn more about it. And then finally, as of filming this, I am currently taking applicants for my one-to-one mentorship program, The Path of the Dragon Mage. This is a very powerful, profound, alchemical experience. This is for people that are resonating with this content on dragons and on ascension, and who are ready to just skyrocket to the next level. If you are committed to this path, if you're committed to yourself, if you want to start attuning yourself to the different elemental dragon energies and applying that in a very grounded way, because hey, it's like so fun, right? It's so like nerdy and spiritual and fun to be like, oh, what color is my dragon? What does that mean? Oh, it's so fun to just gather information. But if you want to take that information, actually do something about it, to actually improve your life, to see like how you can make this practical and tangible, because it really, really can be, then I encourage you to apply for the Path of the Dragon Mage. So I'm only taking 3 new clients on at this time. If this is calling to you, again, I encourage you to sit with your heart and just listen to that. And if it is calling to you, take the leap, apply. And you will have the chance then to get on a free one-to-one discovery call with me where we can get to know each other a little bit better, and I can tell you even more about the program. So I would love to connect with you in that way. But either way, my friend, if you've watched this whole thing, thank you for watching. Wow, what an experience, right? What an experience. As always, it helps so much to spread this information. If you could like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and engage with this content in this way. Me and the dragons will love you forever if you could do this for us. But of course, we love you forever anyways, my friend. Much love, powerful magic to you on your journey. Stay powerful.